For the past couple of weeks, our clients have been reaching out to us with questions like, will the coronavirus affect my business? How will it affect my business? And what can I do to be prepared? I'm going to share with you some of the problems we've talked about, some of the solutions we've talked about, and also some general information about how you too can prepare your business for the possibilities of this virus affecting your economy. Make sure to stay to the end of this video for an opportunity to talk to us about how we can help you make your business profitable and keep it profitable no matter what's coming your way. If you're interested in starting or scaling your business, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to get notified each week when we post new videos. Hi, my name's Kirsten Graham with Six Figure Business Coaching, and we help people just like you start and build successful businesses. And we cover topics like marketing and branding, finances, and of course today, what can happen if something comes your way, whether it's a hurricane or in this case, a virus, because all we can do is prepare the best we can. There's really nothing else we can do. There's no point in being fearful. There's no point in sticking your head in the sand, but you can look at things in every direction and think, what can I do to be proactive to keep my business profitable and up and running strong? So first of all, the stories that I'm going to share with you in this video are about some of our clients, and the decisions that they are making are not necessarily the decisions you would make in a similar situation. And remember, everyone's situation is different. So again, I'm going to share some stories with you and the thought process behind the decisions that our clients are making. And hopefully this will just help you have a better idea of how you can look at all the different scenarios that could happen and prepare the best way possible. So the first thing I want to talk about is one of our clients is supposed to go out of the country. And she's young and she's healthy. And if she got the virus, she'd most likely be fine. The only problem is this trip is literally a couple of weeks before a very large event that they host. And it's a huge moneymaker for them. So it brings in a lot of their annual income. So the question was, should I still go on this trip? And we talked it out and we talked about all the different ways it could play out. So the first way is she goes on the trip, comes back, and everything's fabulous, right? No big deal. Worst case scenario, she goes on the trip and she gets quarantined and she can't get back. That's going to put her business partner in a really rough situation. It could really affect their business adversely, and it's not ideal. Plus, being quarantined would keep her away from her family, so that's not ideal. The next kind of worst case scenario is she comes back from the trip sick, which again, she could get sick just going to the grocery store, but we're looking at scenarios around this trip. So she comes back sick from the vacation, and it's not a good time for her to be sick because they're preparing for a big event. So after thinking about all of the ins and outs of this trip and how it could play out, the bottom line was she can go on this trip at any other time. Yes, she's going to lose a little bit of money because she's got deposits down and tickets paid for. But at the end of the day, the decision that's going to make her feel best about her family and her business is to postpone the trip to go another time. So again, that might not be the right decision for you, but it's the right decision for her. Another one of our clients has a full-time bookkeeping business, and she is a single mom of 3 little children. And she was kind of reached out and the sky was falling, oh my gosh, the economy's going to go to pieces and I'm going to lose all of my clients. What am I going to do? So we kind of, obviously that could happen. You never know what could happen, but it's not likely. So what we talked about was her individual clients. And the bottom line was she has 2 clients who she's a little bit worried about. One of them, his payment often has to be she does automatic bill paying. And so sometimes she has to reprocess his bill payment because it doesn't go through, or he'll have to give her another card number. And obviously, because she's a bookkeeper and she sees their numbers, she knows that his company is struggling. So she doesn't feel really confident with him because if something happened in the economy, he may choose to do his own bookkeeping or he may go out of business. And then she has one other client that she's a little bit worried about. Now, this particular bookkeeper is great with her money. And again, she has a lot of responsibilities because she's a single mom with 3 kids. She has 6 months reserves for her business and 6 months reserves for her personal financing. But the more we talked about it, she decided that as her business has grown and she's got really steady clients, she's become more efficient and she's got really good systems in place. Taking on additional clients in her mind would cover her if someone else dropped off, if she lost clients down the road. Having some additional clients would give her extra money and make her feel more secure. So we felt like that was a good way to go. What that was going to take away from her, though, was time with her family. But again, she has become more efficient than she was in the beginning of her business. And she feels like, yes, she'll have to work some more hours, and that's not ideal, but she feels like it's the right thing to do. So we talked about the number of clients that she wanted to try to bring in right away. And we ended up deciding on a dollar amount because her smaller clients obviously pay less monthly than her larger clients. So the goal is for her to take on an additional $2,500 a month in revenue from bookkeeping clients. And she plans on banking that money and then just, keeping her head down. If nothing happens, great, she'll have extra money in the bank. And her ultimate goal is when her youngest child goes to school, which is in 2 years, she wants to actually build a full-on business. She wants to hire other bookkeepers and just build a business that doesn't revolve just around her. So the thought was, well, if I take on more clients, then maybe I'll end up hiring a part-time bookkeeper sooner and really start to scale the business a little earlier than I had originally planned. So we kind of talked out all of those scenarios, and that seemed like the right decision. And I said, well, let's add in a different idea. What if, yes, you go after the $2,500 a month of additional client revenue, but what if you take $400 or $500 of that and you pay someone to either do some of your marketing for you or maybe to clean your house and do your laundry? What could you do to pay someone else to take some of the burden off of you so you're not taking time away from the children? Because again, all of that money that she's bringing in is just going to go into savings anyway. And the purpose of getting those additional clients is simply to kind of CYA in case, the virus gets bad, the economy goes bad, and she loses some of her current clients. But she has children and she wants to spend time with them and she wants to have a life. So at the end of the conversation, I think that's the plan. She's really thinking about what she could outsource with some of that additional revenue, which will make her feel good because, again, she has additional clients. If she loses clients, she's putting more money in the bank and she feels like she's prepared for whatever could come her way. So if you've started thinking about what you could do to prepare your business, please give us some comments below about some of the things that you're doing, or maybe even questions about some of the things that you're thinking about. We love to know what's going on with you and how you're preparing for this virus and how it may or may not affect your business. Another situation we've talked a lot about is we have 2 clients who are in the process of buying large equipment. So they're about to invest between $20,000 and $50,000 on equipment. And the question came up, should we buy now? Is this the right thing to do? Should we keep the money in the bank? And guys, there's no one answer fits all. So again, we were talking about, do you need the equipment now? How is that going to affect your productivity? Is it something that could be postponed? Do you have money in the bank? How much reserves do you have? And ultimately, one of our clients decided to go ahead and buy equipment and the other decided to hold off. And the reason just had a lot to do with personal finances, like how much money they had in reserves and whether or not they absolutely needed the equipment to move them forward. So again, there's no right answer or wrong answer. It really just depends on your particular situation. Now, again, we don't know what the virus is going to do. It could, really have no effect on our economy, or it could really affect it quite strongly. So you have to look at your industry and how it could affect you. But money in the bank is always going to be key. So when I talk about our general things that you could do, I'm going to talk more about that. Along with doing one-on-one coaching, we also work with people who are planning to leave their 9-to-5. So they're in our group program where we help them with their branding, their marketing, their business plan, everything that they need to do to prepare themselves to start their business before they leave their 9-to-5. And on our group coaching call this week, the conversation came up about the virus. And one of the ladies in our group was planning to build her business slowly over the next 12 months. She was going to work on her website. She was just going to kind of do a lot of things on her own and just get it up and running and try to leave her full-time job in 12 months. But she is in the travel industry. And obviously that's an industry that is already seeing some effects of the coronavirus. And so she had some concerns. So the conversation was, is she willing to give up her nights and weekends and just really hunker down and try to get everything set up for her business and start taking on clients now? If she can do that, she may be able to transition from her full-time job into her business sooner if she absolutely had to. So that was something we were talking about, is what can you do if you're in the middle of starting a business and you're excited about starting your business, but you're worried about, what could happen with the economy? My advice to you would be keep moving forward. You've got a full-time job. Do everything you can do to get all of those little things done to start a business. Again, your marketing plan, your business plan, your website done, know who your ideal client is, understand your messaging to them, and start getting some clients on the side. Start your business as a side hustle, get some money coming in, and then bank that money, because it'll allow you to leave your job with security of knowing that your business is going to be successful. So general advice about what you could do to prepare for the virus, how it may or may not affect your economy, and how it may or may not affect your business. First of all, don't fall in this fear place. Just because we're talking about the virus today and we're talking about how it can affect economies, I don't want you to get fearful. I often find that people who are fearful, or as someone said to me the other day, oh, you're just really bringing me down. Talking about this just lowers my vibration and it really bums me out, kind of thing. Well, first of all, no one should have control over your emotions other than you. So you've got to take control of that yourself. But secondly, if you're talking about this and it's causing a lot of fear, it may mean that you need to look at things and prepare, right? So if you're thinking about taking a trip and you don't want to talk about this, it may be because the right decision may be not taking that trip. Or if you need to buy equipment and talking about the virus just freaks you out, it may be because you'd rather have your head in the sand and just do what you want to do. And that's kind of human nature. We want to do what we want to do. But by going ahead and looking at all the ways you think this could affect your business and doing some simple things, stop spending money if you can. Like, again, kind of control your spending personally and in your business. Make sure those reserves are solid. Go after new business. Get out there and hustle. I read on Facebook the other day, it was so funny. Someone said, if I gave you $100,000, if you got 5 clients in 30 days, could you get 5 clients in 30 days? And I think most people would say, hell yeah, at least I'm going to try really hard. So work on growing and building your business. Take that energy and that anxiety that can come with the unknown and really focus it on good things. And also think about, how can you contribute to society? What could happen if things do happen? How could you volunteer? Could you give more to a food bank? What could you do to be part of the solution and not part of the problem? These are all things that I think make us feel confident. They make us feel secure, and they make us realize that no matter what happens, we're going to be okay. And we have no control over what happens. All we can control is what we do. So do smart things right now. Obviously, I didn't talk about washing your hands and all of that fun stuff because that's all you're hearing about. But I will talk about this as far as your business goes. If you tend to have an outbreak in your area, and if you have a compromised immune system, or you just don't have the downtime to be sick, or whatever the reason, you can do Zoom calls. You can do video conferencing with people. So also think about innovative ways that you could do your business if you just don't want to be out in the general public for any reason. We're pretty much doing business as usual, not really changing a whole lot other than just trying to be smart about what we're doing as far as running the business, but we're out and about in the public, and we feel like we're healthy and things are good to go. However, if we had a massive outbreak in our area, I might change my mind and stay home more. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, however you choose to play that out. But there are things like Zoom calls. You can do phone calls rather than going out and meeting people in public if that makes you feel better. But you do not want to lock yourself at home if most of your business comes from networking. You still need to be out and about and building your business as long as you feel like it's safe. And that's the key. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about the choices or the decisions you make in how you run your life or your business. At the beginning of this video, I told you that there would be an opportunity to speak with us about your business. In the description below, there is a link to book a call with us. We'd love to jump on a call with you and figure out if there's anything we can do to help you start or grow your business. Again, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It lets us know to make more content like this. And please, please, please subscribe and ring the bell to get notified each week when we post new videos. Until I see you in the next video, dream big.